Okay, in this video what I'm going to do is walk you through the actual construction of the population pyramid itself. What I have in front of you right now on the screen is going to be the data. In this case I'm using India, and I just printed it so you can see it a little bit easier. But what you'll notice will be the actual age levels that we had for India in the year, the populations, and then the percentages rounded up or down to the nearest whole number. What I'm going to do now is take this information and actually start laying out the population pyramids for the project. So to do that, I have a piece of blank graph paper right below. I'm going to go ahead and get this thing set up for us. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to take the paper, I want to fold it in half, and crease it nicely. Okay, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the paper, and I'm going to fold each half to the center. And when I do this, I want to make sure that I'm actually folding on a blue line. So it may not be perfect, but it'll get us pretty close to where we're going. So there we go. I got the crease. It's put down. Now I'm going to do the second half, just fold it down underneath, and make sure I'm creasing right on a blue line. It doesn't have to be perfect centered, but it should be pretty close. Get it all nice and lined up, and crease it on down. Okay. Once I've done that now, I have 3 creases in my paper, one for each quarter of the paper. What I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to count out 2 whole squares from the very, very bottom. I'm going to put down my ruler. So in this case, I got 2 full squares. I got my ruler. And what I'm going to do is, of course, when you're working on this, you'd use a pencil. I'm using a Sharpie so you can see it a little bit better. I'm going to draw a real nice line across the bottom here. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on each half of the paper. I have the center crease. That center crease is going to be my upright. What I'll do here is I'll draw a simple little line most of the way up. Stop. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and start organizing my ages. And as I saw for the year 2012, I'm going to have ages and I'm going to have gender. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to count out every 2 boxes and put a line. I'm going to start labeling these things. In my case, I have 0 to 9, 10 to 19, 20 to 29, 30 to 39, and then 100 plus. Okay, so those are my ages. I need to label this. So I'm going to call this age. Okay, while I'm at it, I should probably go ahead and start working on my populations. In the case of my calculations for 2012, my single biggest percentage was 10%. So what I want to do is I want to start from the middle at 0% and see if I have 10 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10 lines. So my scale is going to be 1 box is 1 percentage point. Okay, I'll do the same thing to the other side. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and label my axes. In this case, it's going to be percent population. Okay, now what I should probably do is get down my year. In this case, it's going to be the year 2012. And I should probably also start going ahead and labeling my males and females. So I got males over here. I got females over here. Okay, the last thing I need to do is tell me which country I'm doing. In this case, it's India. So I'm going to write that nice and tall at the top here. I'm going to spell India correctly, capitalize it, and I'm going to underline it. So what you see here with the basic setup right now is going to be this. My baseline is going to be the percent of population. In my case, it's 0 to 10%, because those are the biggest numbers I have. I made every box equal to 1 percentage point because it fits. But if it doesn't fit for you, maybe you do every 2 percentage points for a box. I have my ages from the youngest to the oldest up top, and it's labeled. My males and females are labeled, as is the year and the country itself. I'm going to go ahead and set up the other side and get it all going on, and this is what you need to do to set up your population pyramids. What I've done now is I finished setting up my population pyramids. To recap, here's what I got. The name of my country, spelled correctly, capitalized, and underlined. I clearly have a 2012 and a 2050 for my data sets. For each side of the pyramids, I have a male and a female side clearly labeled. I have my ages, the 0 to 9 at the bottom, and in my case 100% up top, and it's labeled. Then lastly, on the baseline, I have the percent of population. For my 2012, I made the biggest value 10% because that's what my numbers say. And for 2050, my biggest number was actually 7%, so that's why I made a scale bar that way. In my case, one dot box is 1 percentage points. For you, it might be 1 box is 2 percentage points if you have a particularly developing country. What I need to do now is I need to actually go ahead and plot my points. And once you have everything set up and all the math done, this actually goes pretty quick. So here's how it's going to look, and I'm just going to kind of cheat a little bit. Okay, my 0 to 9-year-olds are going to be 10% of the population. What I'm going to do now is go in and plot out 10% points for the 0 to 9-year-olds. I have 10 percentage points for the males 10 to 19. And so what you see here is I've drawn these little lines. For the males, next one I have 9%, 8%, 6%, 4%, 3%, and then 1% for the 70-year-olds. Now for the 80 to 89-year-olds, it says 0, but there's some numbers here. I'm going to call this less than 1%. These are the very old. There's not a whole lot of them. So what I've done is I made a very simple little line, just barely getting past the age numbers that I have. Okay, I've gone ahead and I've repeated the same thing for the females. For my females, the 0 to 9-year-olds was 9%, so on and so forth. What I can do now is once everything's plotted out is I can go ahead and connect my dots. And here's how it would look. And once I've connected my dots, what I've created now is a population pyramid for India for 2012. I would repeat for 2050, color it in, and that's how you do it. Thanks for watching.